Hey guys!
Alright guys, we're here today to check out the latest video from Dawn of Solace, our good friend Thomas.
Yeah.
This is, by the way, there's an album review coming in the next day or so. Expect to see a Dawn of Solace Waves album review hitting the waves of YouTube. But until then, this is the second single that he's released. This is a lyric video for actually the second song on the album. The first song we checked out already was Lead Wings. That was the first single that he released, the music video.
Which, that was also the first song that they sent us the demo.
That he sent us the demo, yes. And I believe this is one of the songs he sent us as the demo as well. I can't remember because I heard the demos, but now I already heard the album and I already recorded the review. So it's kind of hard for me to go back and remember exactly which demos he sent me.
Which one was
which. It's really hard. But I can tell you this much. From listening to the whole album, there's no bad songs on this album. The album is there's no weak spots. It's like Cristiano Ronaldo in his prime. There's just no weak spots. Like the guy, good in the air, good with the dribble, speed, left foot, right foot, like, flawless.
Yeah.
Perfection, right? So this album, there's no weak spots. But I'm going to say this. Lead Wings, which is the opening track, is definitely my favorite track on the album. Maybe because I heard it before.
So we have a connection to that song.
Exactly. But this is my second favorite song on the album. So I'm really glad that he picked this one. There's also one song. There's only one song on the album that's in Finnish. The album is all in English, but there's one song in Finnish. Ooh. And I really like that track. I really, really like that track. I would say that's in my top 3. So it's these two plus the one in Finnish. Those are my 3 top songs on the album. I really love all 3.
I gotta get to that one.
It's really interesting. The dynamic of the song is very different from all the other songs, but then the fact that it's in Finnish, it really changes how the song comes at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has a different vibe to it. It just has a different vibe.
Well, you're actually making me really excited because I already liked the first song we did, and I like Dawn of Solace, so I'm actually excited to hear that in Finnish and this one now.
This one is really good. Now, the funny thing about, well, this is not funny, but just to let people know, the label, this album is being released with Noble Demon, which is a new label. So I got the album for review from the label, but I also pre-ordered the album. I actually pre-ordered the package with a t-shirt.
I actually pre-ordered the album too on iTunes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I pre-ordered on Thomas's website, and it's supposed to come with an autographed CD. So I told him to make sure he signs it with his good hand. Which to me, he replied,
"It's both hands."
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So both hands are great. He has two amazing hands and an amazing voice. So technically, he could put the pen in his mouth and sign it like that. It would still look great. But I told him, sign it with your good hand because we need to frame it. So it's coming with a T-shirt. So Ooh. that's why I pre-ordered it on his website. Anyways, Donna. So we're getting this album 3 times. Wow.
I think it's the first time.
I guess it's better than giving him ice cream.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, we still have to give him ice cream.
Yeah, next time I see him, I still buy ice cream. All right, Dawn of Solace, Ashes, lyric video. Let's do this. I really want to hear your opinion because obviously I knew the song already, but I don't think this gets said enough. Thomas is a musical genius. I don't know exactly what town he's from in Finland, and I actually never asked him exactly where he's from in Finland. I think he's not too far from Helsinki. He's like between Helsinki and Kotka, within that area there. They need to build a statue for this guy. And the statue should be him in one hand holding a guitar and the other hand holding an ice cream. I really think if there's maybe we need to start a fundraiser to get a statue together for him, because this guy, one of the great musical geniuses of my generation. He's not your generation, but my generation, because we're close in age. We're both pushing on 29. So definitely of my generation. Wow, man, it's hard to listen to a song like this. It's hard to listen to this album and then put it into words. I always have a hard time, and I'm gonna let you talk, but I want to say this. I always have a hard time doing album reviews for stuff that he's involved in, either be Wolfheart, Dawn of Solace. Really hard, because I know him personally, and I know the difficulties that he goes through in the creation of the albums, because we stay in touch through the creative process when he's creating, when he's recording. We constantly in touch. He's sending me demos. I'm listening to demos. I'm giving him some feedback. We're joking around. So I almost feel like I'm involved, even though I'm not. I always feel like I'm involved in the creative process. So it's very hard for me to distance myself from the music without having the bias and the personal connection to the music. So I find it very hard. And then when you have music that is this deeply that ingrains this deeply into yourself, into your emotions, becomes even harder, because it's harder for you to distance yourself from the emotions that the music carries. This guy's a genius. Anyways, enough of me. I want to hear what you have to say. And let's not compare this one with Lead Wings. Each song is on its own. Ashes. What's your take on this track? And we need to talk about the vocals, but overall, what was your take overall in this song?
It was exactly. I mean, I was expecting greatness, and it surpassed that, because this was legendary. Like, this album is gonna be probably. It's gonna. I know it's like the start of the year.
We're still in January.
I
mean, like, there's not even a month have gone by in the year. You're already talking about, like, album of the year.
I think this is going to stay and continue through the whole year. Going to be my favorite album.
I'm going to say this much. Of all the albums I reviewed so far this year, and I think I've reviewed over 10 albums already. So of all the albums I reviewed this year, there's 2 albums that, in my opinion, it's going to be very hard to move them out of my top 10 list. But at least, let's say, move them out of my favorites. I don't like to use favorites, because if you ask me what my favorite albums are, and you ask me what do you consider the best albums of the year, sometimes they're not the same, because I can distance myself from what it's my favorite to where I see a lot of work and a lot of effort, and not just effort, but a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of detail. Because sometimes I like an album a lot, but the album is not necessarily very good, but I like it a lot. Right? And then there's some albums that I feel like are extremely well put together, extremely well done, that I don't necessarily like. It may not make sense to people, but it makes sense to me in the way I approach music, because I approach it as art, not necessarily with my feelings involved. So I was saying, to go back, 2 albums this year so far, of all the albums I reviewed, it's going to be very hard to move them out of my list, and that's this one, Dawn of Solace with Waves, and Convent.
I knew it.
Yeah. That debut album from Convent, Puritan Masochism, is something to be had. So to me, these 2 albums, you're gonna have to release something very special to get them to be out of my list of best albums of 2020.
This song, I mean, I'm listening to it back in my head, like right as you finish that video.
Mm-hmm.
I'm replaying it back in my head. But this time I'm adding like some Thomas vocals.
Like harsh vocals?
Yeah, in the chorus, and that's what's actually. I mean,
but I think
that would be its own thing, though.
It wouldn't be Dawn of Solace. It would be something. It would not even be Wolfheart. It would be completely something completely different.
It would be something completely different. But I feel like I would like it around the same as liking this song.
You're not alone. I know. I don't want to say, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I talked to at least one person that's close to Thomas and Wolfheart and Dawn of Solace, and for as much his I'm paraphrasing him, and I don't want to throw him under the bus, so I'm not going to say his name. He said to me, for as much as I like Dawn of Solace and the clean vocals and the sound, I'm always kind of hoping that there's going to be some harsh vocals coming around the corner, and my answer is always, but then it's not going to be Dawn of Solace. I mean, it's not even going to be Wolfheart at that point. It's going to be a whole new project. I feel, while I don't necessarily disagree with you, listening to this album and really listening to this album,
the thing is, I feel like his vocals and these vocals could really merge together and make something beautiful.
Okay, so let me tell you this. I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot, but I think it's the song that's in Finnish. There's some harsh vocals in it, but it's not harsh vocals as far as the way you're thinking, with clean vocals, harsh. No, it's harsh vocals as backing vocals.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Very fainted, like almost like a background noise.
That's what I was thinking. Not as background, but like in the chorus, like when it goes around the second time, around the end of the song, you can hear it, but he's still saying, like, they say it together.
Okay, I believe it's the song that's in Finnish has some harsh vocals, but it's backing vocals, and it's a very thin layer. You could hear it, but it's almost
in the background.
It's in the background. It's still clean vocals in the forefront.
It's still Dawn of Solace.
Exactly. But I thought that was a different. I thought that was a really cool caveat that he threw in there. So I thought that was really cool. But if you look at this song, the chorus is so melodic, and the way the vocals are coming at you in the chorus, the vocals not only add melody to the chorus, they add darkness to the chorus. The chorus is so dark, and it's heavy without being heavy. So I don't think you really need the harsh vocals in order to make the song better. If you add harsh vocals, you're not making the song better. You're making a different song. That's what you're doing, right? Now, another element that we didn't talk about yet is the guitar solo, because the guitar solo is very interesting. Because while the guitar solo is absolutely magnificent, I honestly, I shouldn't doubt his capabilities, but I didn't know that he had that kind of a guitar solo in him. Like, this was kind of, I mean, I almost feel like Thomas has surrounded himself with great musicians throughout his career. And if you look at Wolfheart, when Mika was there, what a great guitar player Mika is. And Jonas on drums, what a great, to me, one of the best drummers out there. Jonas. So he surrounded himself with so many great musicians that he's almost like a vampire. He sucks their blood and their life, their life, and he becomes them.
Before even the first song that we listened to, I didn't know that he could play all these instruments. So I was really surprised that he was doing this project where he would play all the instruments and not lend his vocals in and have someone else do it.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, because he comes across to me as a person who's very controlled and who wants to have control of everything. So for him to find somebody that he trusts with the vocals, it must be tough. But it's something that if he didn't trust the vocalist with his music, he wouldn't have them in the project. So it's a very interesting dynamic. I really agree with you on that. I think it's a really interesting dynamic. But going to the solo is magnificent. I honestly did not know that he had. When I was listening to the album, a lot of the times I was surprised with the quality of the solos on the record, and I was surprised with the quality of the drumming on the record, because while I thought he was good, I didn't think he would be prolific in it. Like, one thing is you being able to play, and the other thing is you being really good at it. Exactly. There was a few times...
I thought the drums would be not, like, I thought they would be, good for the track, not over the top. Not like an actual drum player would play the drums. No, he plays like an actual drum player.
You thought he was going to play like a computer simulated drums.
I thought that's how he played.
Yeah,
right?
Like very ABC.
I think the bass he could.
The bass he could probably get away with it a lot easier.
You could get away with it, and the guitar obviously he's amazing at it. But I didn't know the drums were going to be.
The drums surprised me.
Yeah, I didn't know the drums were going to be kind of like pro drummer over here.
So the solo is interesting, because the solo, the guitar playing, the guitar solo is absolutely magnificent. It's almost like he channeled his inner Mika during that solo.
Or he channeled his inner him.
His inner him. I'm not taking away anything from him. It's just that I didn't know that he had it in him. And maybe that's my mistake. That's my fault. But the drums really surprised me, because on this solo, the drums are so heavy behind the solo. So destructive, so heavy, so strong. almost like Wolfheart style drumming behind the solo. It gave the solo this huge wall of sound just coming at you, like almost like an avalanche, destroying everything in its path. Absolutely destructive. So when I was listening to this, I was absolutely shocked with how prolific he is and how well he was able to really elevate his own playing in order to make songs like this, where you have such incredible and melodic solo being played at the same time, where you have this destructive drum beat behind it. Like the drum track is absolutely killer during that solo. Killer. What a crazy song. What an incredible track. Incredible vocals. We have to say that too. Incredible vocals.
Did you listen to this album on your way to work?
Yeah, I listened to this album on my way to work.
I'm surprised you just didn't close your eyes and get into a car crash. Because I could never listen to this album and have my eyes open. I would always have to kind of
go into a zone.
Go into my zone. And just kind of sway with the music.
I just don't think I was very productive on those days at work while I was listening to it, doing work and listening to it. Sometimes I would have to this is so good, I had to stop. All right, guys, this is it for today, but come back tomorrow. We'll have more videos for you. See you guys.
See ya.